Hello everyone, welcome to the channel of Digital Study for Innovators. In this video, that is part 1 of the topic Combustion and Flame, we will study and explore about this chapter, that is Combustion and Flame. So let's start. Combustion. It is a chemical process in which a substance reacts with oxygen to produce heat is called combustion. Sometimes light is also produced during combustion, either as a flame or as a glow. Air is necessary for combustion. The fuel may be liquid, solid, or gas. Combustible substances. Substances which burn in air to produce heat and light, and the substances that undergoes combustion are called combustible substances. It is called as a fuel. Example: wood, coal, charcoal, petrol, kerosene, diesel, LPG, CNG, and paper. Non-combustible substances are certain substances which are not combustible in the presence of air, will not burn on being exposed to flame. Example: glass, stones, iron. Ignition temperature. The lowest temperature at which a substance catches fire is called its ignition temperature. Different substances have different ignition temperature. A substance will not catch fire and burn if its temperature is lower than its ignition temperature. Example: the ignition temperature of kerosene is less than the ignition temperature of wood. Conditions necessary for combustion are fuel, air to supply oxygen, heat to raise the temperature beyond the ignition temperature. A substance will not burn without one or more of these conditions. How do we control fire? Fire can be controlled by removing any one or more of these conditions. A fire extinguisher cuts off the supply of air or brings down the temperature of the fuel, or both, and controls fire. Methods of controlling fire: cover it by heavy blanket, dump a non-inflammable substance like soil or sand, water on the fire. This cools the fuel to below the ignition point, interrupting the combustion cycle. By using carbon dioxide to put out fire caused by inflammable materials like oil, petrol, and electrical equipment. By using the fire extinguisher, as carbon dioxide is heavier than air, carbon dioxide cuts off the supply of oxygen and puts out the fire. Substances. The substances which have very low ignition temperature and can easily catch fire with the flame are called inflammable substances. Example: petrol, alcohol, LPG are inflammable substances. History of matchstick. The history of matchstick is very old. More than 5,000 years ago, small pieces of pine wood dipped in sulfur were used as matches in ancient Egypt. A mixture of antimony trisulfide, potassium chlorate, and white phosphorus with some glue and starch was applied on the head of a match made of suitable wood. When struck against a rough surface, white phosphorus got ignited due to the heat of friction. This started the combustion of the match. However, phosphorus was dangerous for the people and the workers. These days, the head of the match contains only antimony trisulfide and potassium chlorate. The rubbing surface contains only powdered glass and a little red phosphorus. When the match is struck against the rubbing surface, red phosphorus gets converted into white phosphorus. This immediately reacts with potassium chlorate in the matchstick head to produce heat to ignite antimony trisulfide and start the combustion. So this was all about the part 1 of the topic Combustion and Flame. This video will be continued in part 2. So meet again at that video.